Hi. I just wanted to talk about the balance changes today. They're not going to go live till tomorrow, but I wanted to talk about them. Sombra and Ramattra are both characters in Overwatch. I'm sure everyone knows this. Ramattra gets to punch people. Sombra gets to hack people. Makes sense, right? Well, what happens when you take Ramattra and make him not able to fucking punch? Sounds stupid, right? What happens when you get Sombra and you make her unable to hack people? Sounds stupid, right? Well, that's what they did in the newest patch notes. They didn't remove it completely, of course, but they absolutely threw Ramattra and Sombra to the fucking wood chipper. And trust me, I don't like to complain about the game, but this is stupid. I'm not saying the devs are. They're not. They're very smart people. There's reasons they're in the position they're in. Okay, I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm saying that the decision is stupid. I'm not saying they're stupid. There's a big difference between that and actually insulting them. Because I see a lot of YouTubers insult them. I'm not insulting them. I'm insulting their decision. Ramattra's pummel no longer pierces barriers. Why? Why? What's the point in that? What is the point in pummel not piercing barriers? Do you know what that means? That means that Ramattra is completely useless against Winston. He's completely useless against Sigma. He's completely useless against Ryan. Okay? Ramattra can't play at all now. It's impossible. It's completely impossible. There's no point in even picking the character anymore. He's literally just a worse Reinhardt now. Now, yes, they did give him the compensation buff of 2.5 more damage to barriers, but that doesn't help. The whole point of Ramattra's pummel was to make absolutely sure you couldn't use shields against him. Okay? I understand that making him do almost 3 times as much damage to barriers does do that job, but it doesn't do it as well. Ramattra has, what is it? How many punches? 20 punches, I think, during Nemesis? Each of his punches does 65 damage. Each of Ramatra's punches does 65 damage, okay? Not a lot, obviously. You have to get, 6 punches in before you kill someone? 250 divided by 65. No, you have to get almost 4 punches in to kill a squishy. And that's not even including people with armor or people with more HP. Okay? You have to shoot someone almost 4 times. It's already not that great. Okay? Your ability to kill people is determined by how many punches you can hit. Okay? If Ryan's barrier has 1,500 HP, like it does in the upcoming patch. Right now it has 1,600, but it will have 1,500. If it has 1,500 HP and you get 20 shots in, you don't, by the way. You don't get 20 punches. You don't. You get 13 punches, give or take, maybe 14, before you run out of Nemesis form, okay? If each of your punches does 65 damage, which it does, okay? That means you can do a total of 866 damage if you hit all of your punches. All of them. Now, that's a lot of damage on paper, yes. Okay, the problem with that is you don't get to use all your punches. That would be you always using punches, never blocking, never strafing, always chasing the enemy, always hitting a punch. Okay, that's very, very difficult. You're never going to be able to do that with Ram, unless you're facing an enemy tank. Point is, if you do 2.5 times that damage to barriers, okay, you're doing 2,166, okay? So give or take like 500, 600 damage isn't going to be used, because obviously you can't do that much to Ryan's barrier, okay? But the problem is, by the time you break the barrier, which is more than half of your Nemesis time, Ryan will be able to leave. Ryan will just fucking walk away. Ryan can pass through your barrier. He can slam through your barrier if he positions himself well. Where's your advantage? Ramattra doesn't even counter Ryan at all anymore. Ryan just doesn't get countered by Ram. And now I'm not saying that's bad, because not Ramattra, Ryan needs it. Ryan needs it. He absolutely needs it. But the problem is, by saying, oh, we want to get rid of the stupid, oh, I can't outplay this, it's impossible. Well, you can outplay Ramattra Punch. It's easy. Walk away. Or, hear me out, CC him. He is very vulnerable while he's in Nemesis form. It's not like you can't outplay him. It's not like it's magically impossible to outplay Ramattra while he's pummeling. It's perfectly possible. And now, by the time you kill a Ryan shield, he's going to be able to kick your ass anyway. Because not only are you putting yourself vulnerable to CC, you can already get bullied by mostly the other tanks that don't have shields, like Orisa and Hog and Diva. I mean, come on. And even Zarya. Like, you can't. And now that the fact that it doesn't pass through shields, now you can't play against Winston, you can't play against Ryan, you can't play against Sigma, you can't play against Orisa, Hog, Zarya, Diva. I mean, come on. The only person you can play against is Mauga, and that's if he's not smart with his E. What are we doing? What are we doing, guys? By the time you can kill anything, everyone will be gone. What is Ramattra supposed to do? I understand that you wanted Ramatra's punches to feel a little bit more outplayable. But the problem is, he was already outplayable enough. He has short range, relatively. 10 meters is a lot when you're talking about punches. But his whole point was going through shields and being able to attack multiple people at the same time. Why are we removing that to make other tanks feel like they can outplay Ramattra more? Ramattra is just very slightly better than Ryan. Okay? After this change, Ramattra will just be 10 times worse than Ryan's ever been. Just straight up. He won't be able to play against shield characters, because by the time he breaks their shield, they will leave. And he won't have anything to kill them with, because Nemesis is your killing blow cooldown. It is your killing blow cooldown. Try to kill someone using only your primary fire while they have a shield up. You can't. It's impossible. You can't. It makes no sense to get rid of his pummel going through shields. Absolutely zero, nada, nothing. Makes no sense. And all it does is ruin the fact that Ramattra was a hybrid tank. Now he can't even be a hybrid tank because he can't even brawl anymore because you removed his ability to phase through shields. You want to know the reason Ryan's good at brawl? He has a fucking hammer. Do you want to know the reason Orisa is good at brawl? It's because she has a javelin spin. Do you want to know the reason that Zarya is good at brawl? It's because she has such high damage, she could just shred through everything. Do you want to know the reason Ramatra's good at brawl? Nothing now. Completely worthless. You can't even play him in brawl. He's a poke tank now. He'll use his shield, he'll use his vortex, and then he'll block using Nemesis. There's nothing that he can do now to outplay anything. I used to be able to outplay Winston, outplay Mauga, outplay Ryan, outplay Zarya, outplay Sigma. I could even outplay Orisa at times. What are you supposed to do now? You can't. You just die. You just die. Or by the time you get to anyone, the whole team's gone and you can't even confirm a kill. It's dumb. It's straight up, it's stupid. Now, on to Hanzo. I'm pretty glad with what they did with Hanzo because they finally increased his HP back to 250. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to talk about Sojourn, but they got a buff and a nerf. Ryan got a nerf. Bap got a buff. Brig got a very, very barely anything nerf. And Juno got a pretty significant nerf. But I really want to talk about Sombra. Now, everyone hated the infinite invisibility. I hated it. You hated it. We all hated it. Come on, let's be honest now. Sombra sucks to play against. Widow sucks more, in my opinion, but Sombra sucks to play against nonetheless. Now, the problem lies not with the balancing itself. No, that's not true. The problem doesn't lie with the character fantasy. The problem lies with the balancing. I don't mind Sombra having invis. Infinite invis makes no fucking sense. Why didn't we just revert her to her Overwatch 1 variant where she just has a translocator and invisibility on a cooldown? That makes perfect sense. That's fine. Infinite invis makes no damn sense. In fact, Virus really doesn't make sense if you think about it, because she's never used that in any cinematics or anything whatsoever. I mean, you could make the same argument for Roadhog for Pigpen, but my point still stands. She was the most healthiest, as much grammatical sense as that ever makes. She was the most healthy in her Overwatch 1 original state, where she had limited invis and a translocator on a cooldown. But all they did to look at her stealth was they threw her in a wood chipper and called it a day. I don't mind that they got rid of the infinite invis, but it should have been like 8 to 10 seconds and on a cooldown. Here's the problem. It's not. It's tied to the translocator now, which makes no sense. I understand if you're trying to get away, but if you're trying to set up for an EMP, how the hell are you supposed to do that when you're invisible? Not to mention, if you attack people, if you try to melee, if you emote, if you get too close to someone, and now if you hack, people can see you. I mean, it doesn't take you out of invis, the hack, but it makes you visible to everyone, not just the person that's you're hacking, like it normally does. And it only has 5 seconds duration. Why? It should be like 8 to 10 seconds so you can actually get away from things. But the fact that translocator already tells the enemy team exactly where you are, and so they can just shoot you out of the air with translocator. Now they can shoot you out of the air, disable your invis entirely, so you can't even use the damn thing, and now you can't even set up with invis before a fight. Not only that, but now hack only locks you out for a second and a second instead of a second and a half, which, trust me, I didn't like the fact that it lasted that long. But, I mean, that's the only way she can confirm kills. I mean, she can virus and then shoot. But let's be honest, more times than not, if you're facing a character that you have a severe disadvantage of, you're going to want to hack them first anyway. And now, they don't even get locked out for a long enough time to matter. Not only that, but now you can't even hack Bob. Why did we change the hacked Bob status? Like, come on. Really? Think about how much sense that makes. Ashe is already one of the best, if not the best, DPS character in the game. And always has been, because hit scan are way more preferential than projectiles. But I'm not going to get into that today. I'm not going to get into hit scan bias or anything. Why did we change Bob's hacked status? That was the one thing Sombra could do against Ashe, was hack Bob. Why? Why are we buffing Bob? We just gave him the fucking tank passive. Why are we giving him a 3-second duration on hack? Why? Ana can't even sleep Bob now to get rid of him. Ana can't sleep Bob. You're fucked. Now Sombra can't hack Bob. You're fucked. Really? Oh yeah, we wanna make it to where you can outplay things. Oh, so that makes perfect sense. So you got rid of the two things that outplayed Bob. Really? Really now? Is that what we're doing? We're making sure you can outplay by just ulting. Just ult. You win. I'd like to think it would require a little bit more skill than just fucking ulting, but hey, what do I know? I think it's dumb. And I'm seeing in the patch notes now that taking damage now reveals Sombra for 1 second instead of ending stealth. But that doesn't help. Because you have 5 seconds of stealth. If you had 10 seconds, I'd be okay with that. Or 8 seconds, I'd be okay with that. You have 5 seconds of stealth. 5. 1 second is perfectly enough time to kill. Especially if you're Soldier, Ashe, Cassidy, literally any hit scan on Earth. You can instantly kill that Sombra the second they're revealed. Not only that, but you can't even use the translocator as often. So if it was 5 seconds, you'd be able to maybe set up for a fight like right before the fight and be able to EMP and still get yourself out. Now that it's 7 seconds, if you are not absolutely perfect with your timing and you have 7 seconds worth of time to be able to kill, if you cannot burn those 7 seconds or pre-plan your invis, you're just going to die. You're just going to die. Because if you go into that fight in invis, your translocator's cooldown is still going to be like 2 seconds by the time you go uninvis. So at minimum, you're going to have to just fucking sit there after you EMP for 2 seconds. Which I don't know if anybody has noticed, but Sombra tends to die when she's not able to get out. Now, I understand that they did that because Invis is on a 5-second cooldown, well, 5-second activation, and Translocator has a 5-second duration. So you could technically have infinite Invis if you constantly Translocator. But now you just cannot. You just cannot set up for fights. Not only that, but they raised her they raised her ult cost by 12% when it really wasn't that great. I mean, it is a fight-winning ult. It is a fight-winning ult. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying, like, EMP, come on. Was it really that fast? Or are we just nerfing Sombra to just nerf Sombra? Is that really what we're doing? Because I feel like that's what we're doing. I guess it's fine that they added Opportunist back in. And Sombra now gets a damage bonus versus hack targets. But again, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. It just won't. It's just dumb. Now, one buff I would be okay with if they kept Sombra like this was remove the stealth ring. Make her invisible to everyone, no matter what range she is from them. That would be fine. That I'd be okay with. That would make sense. But, come on. You can't keep her like this. I was all for getting rid of her permanent stealth, but this is way, way too much. And that's not even on top of the Ramattra changes, which are just stupid. They're just stupid changes. Overall, probably one of the worst patches. Not the worst patch. It's not even one of the worst patches. It's just a worse patch than what I'd normally expect from the Overwatch dev team. And it's not it. It's not it, man. Definitely not it. Anyways, if you like the video, like, subscribe, and comment. I'd like to have a discussion in the comments about this, but honestly, I don't know if I don't even know if I'm even going to play next season now. Because that is just awful. That is just absolutely awful. Anyways, my name is the Duno Doctor, and I'll see you later. Bye.